Hi, this is Ife of Ife360 TV, and on this channel we talk about DIYs for your hair and how to challenge your hair growth. But before we get started, I want you to hit subscribe to become a growth challenger. Today I'm going to do a hair journey. I was going through my videos the other day and realized I never showed you all my hair back in the day. Well, I did, but it's just like 1 or 2 pictures. And because I've been moving around, living different places for so long, my pictures are still in Trinidad and Tobago, where I'm from. And I've always been natural. One of my subscribers recently pointed out when they saw an article that came out about me, they saw, hey, Ife, you've only been able to grow your hair recently. Yeah, it's only just started being able to grow my hair out. I've always had really short hair until about my mid-20s. Not only that, I have always been natural. Now hit subscribe for that one. Just saying. Alright, so in this video I'm going to show you a timeline as much as I can from the pictures that I have. Some pictures are missing because I just couldn't find them all. Traveling and not being at home, not having all my pictures with me. However, I was able to compile something of when I started to grow, the things I started to do, things, being able to retain length, that sort of thing. Enjoy! So let's start with baby Ife. I hope my mother doesn't mind this picture that I used of her. For as long as I've known my mom, she's always been natural. We always knew growing up we would never be allowed to chemically straighten our hair, so we lived in cornrows or cane row, as Trinis would call it, for the rest of our childhood. Okay, so this is me a little older, as I showed you. My grandmother cornrowed our hair. My sisters and I cornrowed our hair all the way through primary school. And then my hair pretty much stayed this length for most of my life. So the years that I missed, don't worry about it. My hair was the same length. Still the same length. See, I'm unimpressed with the length of my hair, as you can see on my face. I constantly cut my hair, thinking that would help my hair grow. I was always cutting it, but yet I expected my hair to grow. Never changed. As I said in my 12 habits, I had a lot of bad habits that kept my hair short. I'll post a link so you can find a video as well so you can see it. And this was in university. It hadn't changed. I still had my bad habits. Style was in box braids. I lived in box braids. When you're doing engineering, you don't want to have to think about anything. And then university graduation, I had some twists. And then I was like, firebun this Babylon system. But then I had to get a corporate job. So I cut my hair. And you see these micro twists? I did a close-up to show you how small I did my hair. This is around the time I started to get questions from my friends about the length of my hair, but to me, my hair wasn't growing. I still was having a lot of breakage, wasn't retaining length. However, my friends started to point out that my hair was growing. I wasn't seeing it, but only when I was putting together this video, I think I kind of see what they were talking about. My hair was starting to show some length. So this is around the time that I moved to the Bahamas. I was getting more sunshine. I was going to the beach a little bit more. I was doing a lot larger box braids or plaits, as we say in Trinidad. And then I was doing some more twist styles. But then you can actually see my hair was actually going way past my shoulders now. I had stopped a lot of bad habits, but I still had a couple, clearly. However, now I can do a little bit more of a ponytail than usual. My hair was starting to gain some more length. I was retaining more length. I was at the beach a lot. I went swimming a lot. So I was getting a lot of magnesium chloride, lots of vitamin D. I also started taking Lugol's Iodine constantly and consistently to balance my hormones, to combat hair loss, and for a whole host of other reasons. This was my birth date, which was December, And I'm going to try my best to show you a few more birthday pictures so you can see the transition of when my hair started to grow. This is when I started to see the length as well. So this is years after everyone else was seeing it. But you can see my hair was really looking healthier. But what I would tell you changed drastically. I started making coconut oil, homemade coconut oil for myself. It was fresh, freshly made. I bathed in it. I lathered my hair in it. My hair was drinking it up and it really thrived off of it. Homemade coconut oil. And throughout my entire journey, I found out I had PCOS in 2008. And since then, I was going through a lot of hair loss. So if you see my length changing back and forth, or the density of my hair changing, I was going through hair loss the entire time. Even though my hair was gaining length, I was still losing clumps of hair in the shower. I also changed my diet. I started to do raw till 4, so I ate a lot of raw foods for most of the day, and from about in the evening time for dinner, I would have cooked foods. And I did that for a few years, and it was also around the time that I saw my hair quickly gaining length. Trinidad Carnival with Usain Bolt. This is Maxine Williams, a Trinidadian who's the director of diversity at Facebook. It just goes to show that you can be in a corporate job and still keep your natural hair. So this was the end of 2014 again, around my birthday. You can see the length difference. This is around the time where most of you would have seen me for YouTube. And then I moved to China, and my hair continued its growth and its path. Now, I didn't really start a lot of the DIYs you see me do now with regard to fenugreek. I didn't really start that until recently.